Prevention Week. My name is Audrey, and I'm going to be talking to you about illicit drug use. First, I'd kind of like to delve into my background a little bit. I was born and raised in Ketchikan, Alaska. Drug use was a large part of my surrounding environment growing up, and I've had a lot of experience, and I've seen firsthand the kinds of effects that come with illicit drug use and the way that it affects a community, families, friendships, and really any close personal relationships that you have. I personally grew up in a home with multiple illicit drug users, and I know firsthand the kind of repercussions that come along with that kind of dynamic. And as a young person in that situation, and as a young person in general, your whole world is shifting and changing. And it's a time in your life that's very confusing and emotional, but more than anything, it's a time where you're the most vulnerable to outside influence. And just to show how prominent that statement really is, I have a statistic here by the Addiction Center, and it comes from their most recent study that they did in 2013, which had shown that illicit drug users had increased by 2.8 million people, and 54%, which is over half of those new users, were under 18 years old. And to me, this just shows how badly our youth needs information and guidance on substance abuse and prevention. And of all of the advice that I can give, I tried to narrow it down to the most simple and crucial necessity of prevention. And to me, that's vulnerability. As a young person, it was really important to me that I practiced prevention from any kind of drug use, being that I saw the effects that it had on my family and my life and my community. So it was really important to me not to fall into those patterns and habits. And I felt like vulnerability was my biggest tool on that journey. You know, we live in a day and age where a lot of people are not honest about what they're going through and how they're feeling. And a lot of people hide or feel ashamed of the struggles that they're facing. So, you know, growing up and trying to navigate my way through everything that comes along with being a young adult and living in a town that is has an abundance of drug use going on and happening around you, I really had to cling on tight to that vulnerability and to the people that I could be vulnerable with. And whether you are somebody who's young and, you know, you have a great life, maybe you have a family who's doing well and they're not, you know, they don't have any drug users or any real outstanding issues, but maybe there's people you just can't talk to and you can't relate to and you can't be vulnerable with, then that's just as much of a problem. And it's very important that as adults we're providing our youth with information, but also our time and our energy and a safe place to express their emotions and be vulnerable. Because when we're not honest about how we're feeling, it's so much easier to look for a way to cope and cope ourselves out of those feelings instead of dealing with them. So again, you know, I only have so much time, but if I can make a point to anybody with this video, it's that your feelings are normal. And your feelings can't be ignored, and they can't be buried, and they can't be forgotten. And if we want to cope in a healthy way with those feelings, we have to stay connected with people. and we have to reach out, and we have to be willing to lend our own time to others. So I hope that this video helped, and remember, you are not alone. Thanks.